Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss a very important topic related to the domain and range of the square root function. So domain is basically the input, that is the value of x, and range is the output, that is the value of y in a function. So I have taken the three examples here, and all these three examples have radical sign or square root in them. So let's learn today how you can find their domain and range whenever you came across the radical sign in a function. So a rule of thumb here is for finding the domain and range of the square root function, we cannot take square root of negative numbers. The most important thing here is we cannot take square root of negative numbers. What does that mean? Let's start with the first function f of x. Now don't get confused with f of x, it's basically y. So y is the output, x is the input. So for the domain you need to decide what values of x this function can take, or what input we can give to this function, the valid input. So what does it mean by valid input? So in square root, when you take the negative values of x, it will give you a complex number. For example, I will write under root minus 1. This will give you a complex number. So we cannot take negative numbers in the square root. For that we have the condition that needs to be applied here. That is the any expression that is under the square root needs to be greater than and equal to 0. Here we have only x, so I have written here x. If we have x plus 3, I will write x plus 3 should be greater than equal to 0. If we have x plus 9, we will write x plus 9 should be greater than and equal to 0. It means the values of x that we can take in the square root function here is only the values that are greater than and equal to 0. So the domain of this given function f of x, I can write here is domain of f is x is greater than equal to 0. It can be written also as from 0 to plus infinity. Keep this in mind. This square bracket is showing that 0 will also be included. And if I use the if I use the parenthesis, it means that number is not included. So we can only take these values. So the values of x will be from 0 to infinity and any positive number. While when we talk about the range is the value output of the function that we get after putting the input. So here the range will be when we put 0 in the given function, 1 in the given function, 2 and so on. So I can say that the range of the given function f is, if I put 0, that is the smallest number in the domain in the given function, that is under root 0, it will give you 0. So the range of f will start from 0, that is the output of the given function, and it will end to plus infinity, same as that of the input. So this is the domain and range of the function under root x. Now let's move towards the domain and range of the next function g of x, in which we are adding something to the x under the square root or under the radical sign. So here again the condition is basically on any expression under the square root. So I have to apply the condition here is, that is x plus 3 should be greater than and equal to 0. So if I solve it for the x, it will be x should be greater than equal to minus 3. It means we can only take the values of those values of x that are equal to and greater than minus 3. That is minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0 and so on. But we cannot take minus 4, because when we put minus 4 in the given function, it will give you a negative value under the square root or under the radical sign. So here what will be the domain? The domain of g, the function g will be, what it will be? It will be from minus 3 till infinity. So I will include minus 3 by using the square bracket and will end up to the plus infinity. So this is how you can apply the condition to any expression under the radical or the square root. Then we have the range. The range is, as I already told, that range is basically the output of the given function when you put the input. So the minimum value in the domain is minus 3. When I put the minus 3 in the given function above, like if I put g of x is equals to under root, if I replace x with minus 3, it will be minus 3 plus 3, it will give you 0. So the minimum value of the range or the output of the given function g will be, if I write here range, the range will start from 0 square bracket, because it will include the 0, till plus infinity, because the if we put infinity in the given function, it will give you infinity. So I have to put the smallest and the largest value in the given function to get the value of range. So now let's move towards the last function, that is under root x square minus 9. Here what we have to do is we have to again apply the same condition to find the domain, as we have to get this expression, that is x square minus 9, and this expression should be greater than and equal to 0, because we cannot afford negative values under the radical sign. So how we will solve it? X square should be greater than and equal to 9, x should be greater than and equal to plus minus 3, because it was square there. So when we take the square root on both sides, we will get the two signs, plus 3 and minus 3. So if I convert this into the domain, so what we will get is, the domain of this function will be, that is domain of h will be, you have to start from minus infinity to minus 3, including the minus 3, union plus 3 to plus infinity. Now what does this mean? X should be greater than and equal to plus minus 3 means the value of x should be greater than plus 3 till infinity, and should be less than minus 3 till negative infinity. So we have to take the union of both of these values, and I have included minus 3 plus 3 by using the square bracket. So this is how you can find the domain of the number having the square as well as the radical function on it. So this is the domain, and what will be the range? Let's see. So range will be if whatever you put the value of x, that is the domain, into the given function y. So the range will be, if I write here, minus infinity to minus 3. So if I put minus 3, that the value of domain, the value of x in the given function, it will give us 0. And if I put plus 3 in the given function, it will give us 0. So it means the range will be from 0 to plus infinity. So this is how you can find the domain and range of the function of the functions including the radical or square root, radical sign, or the functions that are having the square root. So that's all from today's lecture. Thank you.